There's power in this gazebo, isn't there?
No. Oh, jeez. Hello.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Village of Middleville Village Council meeting for Tuesday, February 10th. Will you please have a roll call?
Kevin Smith,
Here.
Steve Baldry,
Here.
Robert Bishop,
Here.
Tracy Gillespie, Richard Hamilton, John Osterban,
Here.
Mackenzie Peters. Here.
All right, I would like to pass a motion to, actually, we really don't have anybody to excuse, do we?
Need to.
I think we'll move on. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to approve the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
The motion was supported. Any discussion?
I just need to know for sure who supported that.
Uh,
No, second.
Steve.
Okay.
All right, hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Mr. President,
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
The motion with support to approve the consent agenda consisting of approval of minutes for the regular meeting of January 27th, 2026, and approval of bills as of February 5th, 2026, in the amount of $345,861.56. Do a roll call for that, please.
Mackenzie Peters,
Aye.
Steve Baldry,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie, John Osterban,
Aye.
Robert Bishop,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton, Kevin Smith.
Aye. Moving on to public comment. We have a limit of 3 minutes per speaker. Any persons attending may comment on any subject. Please state your name and direct your comments to the chair. The Village of Middleville rules of procedure prohibit the village council from debating or discussing issues with the public at this time.
Hi, you're probably used to hearing me talk about the library, and no surprise, I'm going to talk about that again today. We had our monthly meeting of the Friends of the Middleville Area Community Library in the library. Mostly this evening we talked about some information that we've gotten from KDL's lawyers and the lawyer that spoke with Katie Binsky from the Michigan State Library, the state of Michigan. And they basically assured us that we can move forward to make a public district that every household that is outside of Thornapple and Yankee Springs Townships are covered, would not lose library service if the public school were to stop offering it, because they are already paying millage to support other libraries. They just happen to fall within our district. So we're really to the point now where it's a public library would contract with the townships that make up what the district is, what the TK district is. So we've made a little bit of headway just in that information, wanted to share with you. And everybody was really excited about the formation of a of a council committee, for our library, but then we're also reading the newspaper and so disheartened to find that a third of that committee is not really eligible to sit the committee. And so I don't know who you're pulling from potentially to sit on that committee, or if the former members of the HADOC committee could be of any service in that. We're very interested in having it continue. And if that means that some of us need to be pulled into that to help it move forward, so be it. I guess I speak for myself, but I think this is some sentiment is across the board of the ad hoc folks that we would continue to meet in this effort to, get us a library. So that's all I have to say.
Seeing no other public, we can move on. Reserve time, I don't think we have any, so we're gonna move on. Petitions and communications, so the Pregnancy Resource Center. Run.
There's no one here from Pregnancy Resource Center, but that is an event that happens every single year. It's been happening probably, I don't know, I counted my t-shirts the other day, at least 15, 18 years here. So they graciously said that I could answer any questions because I've been involved with that for every year that it's been here. So if you have any questions, like I say, it happens normal every year, same weekend every year. They do know that there's potentially construction happening on Railroad Street in the time frame. Pretty much they just meet in the gazebo or meet in the pavilion, do what they do, and go down the trail and come back.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion to approve this special event permit.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any discussion? Questions? Sorry. Hearing none. I'd like to move forward with a voice vote, please. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Ordinances, none. Mr. Stolzenberg.
Good evening, council.
Hi.
Got a copy of my report. Interviewed a couple folks this week for Cassie's old role, community developer, development coordinator, excuse me. Pretty promising. We're gonna bring Ann in for a second interview for one of them, Ann Albers, who's the chair of the DDA right now. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Other than that, happy to answer any questions.
How is our earnings doing?
Michigan class are right around 3.75 to 3.8. We just opened up, 3 new CDs at 250,000 apiece with, Thornton Credit Union at 4.25.
Oh, nice.
So for 3 months CDs.
Yeah,
Well,
90
3
days.
months. Yeah.
It seems like the short-term ones are the ones.
The short-term ones are the better rates right now.
Yeah. There is limitations on where that money can go, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, all very secure things, yes. Yeah. That's why you don't get the crazy rates, annual rates, you don't get anything like 6 to 10 or anything like that on any of that, so,
CDs are certainly a safe bet.
yes. Exactly where we want our tax dollars to be,
It's indeed safe.
bets.
I agree. All right. Any other discussion for Mr. Stolzenberg? All right,
But, thank you.
JD?
Good evening. My report is that we got a break from the snow finally for a little bit, but that's been the theme of the winter is plowing snow. The reservoir project, all the main is done, all the tines are done, the reservoir is back online. We did have an issue with our well 6 pump, so we're having that looked at this week. We had a meeting for our SCADA system, that's going. We're looking at 4 to 6 weeks until it's completely up and running, and that's with no hiccups, but with all this logic in there doing, I'll be optimistic at 2 months when we're completed with that, so. We did have a couple lift station pumps go down. One is a complete rebuild. Another one was just a color bulk shut off. We got that one back together and then it's back in. So we're dealing with that. Other than that, it's pretty much just been plowing snow.
According to Punxsutawney Phil, we're gonna have a longer winter, so more snow to come.
But what's that Willie said, early spring, so it's anyone's guess.
They're gonna get no rain someday.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions for JD?
I have one. With the upcoming spring, how many lead line replacements are forecasted to change out during the season?
We were planning on 20 is the plan and goal right now. See what we got, have a better idea of what we have as far as partial to complete replacements, and that'll give us a better price tag as what we're gonna spend. So we may be able to up more of what we budgeted. We'll know more once ground thaws and I can start getting more verifications done just to make sure. So goal right now is 20. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, JD. Sergeant Ware?
Good evening. Any questions on the numbers for January? All right, just a couple quick things. Updates on body cameras, in-car cameras, and new portable radios. Almost every car has its new in-car camera installed. One of the minimal cars has not been done yet, and there's a delay on that. They shipped the wrong bracket for the monitor and camera. So we have to wait for the correct one to come. Once that's in, that'll get installed. My car in particular, it'll be fixed tomorrow, but when we first started the install, we were still gonna go with these SVX body cameras, which were our remote mic for our radios as well as the body camera. The system's not ready for that yet. So instead of doing a whole nother deep dive like we did with the report system and being the guinea pigs, we backtracked. We're gonna go with the V700s, which is the current line that everybody is using from Motorola. But with that, now they have to install a different antenna, different dock inside my car as well as 7 other cars before those be ready to go. Then once those new cameras come in, we'll be up and running with those too. So that process is moving smoothly. And we anticipate by the end of February, all that will be up and going and we'll be fully gone. Still no price tag for the village. So I talked to Craig about that the other day. Neither one of us are anything from the county on what that's going to be. I still anticipate at some point there will be a check dropped or a bill dropped off. So
The mystery bill.
yes. Thornton Public Schools. There's been a lot of chatter on Facebook regarding law enforcement, fire, EMS being at the schools a lot lately. Typically, if you see law enforcement there, it's not because they're there for emergency. We're trying to get into the schools more. We're trying to be, a face to the students to say, hey, we're here to be friendly, kind, someone say that you can talk to, not the, oh, if you act up, they're gonna take you to jail kind of thing, because we don't like that persona spread to the kids. If the ambulance is there, chances are you're gonna see us there too. Our cars are running, they're ready to go. We hop in, we go, we get there. We usually beat them by 5 minutes or so we can do a really good assessment on the patient, give them live feedback via radio versus a secretary sitting in the office that's got a radio call saying, call an ambulance, and they have no idea why we're going. So typically we see an ambulance there. We're not there because it's a police matter, but because it's a first responder matter. We want to make sure that we're giving all the right intel so the ambulance getting there knows what they're dealing with when they get there. And then winter driving reminders. Snow's good at the moment, but as we all know, in Michigan, we have 3 or 4 fake springs before the real spring. So snow will be coming. Just remind people, please take your time. About 95% of all our slide offs are speed related. About same with all our crashes this time of year. So We just ask you to slow down and please remove the snow from your vehicles prior to driving. That is state law. If the snow falls off your vehicle onto the roadway, it's a misdemeanor. If you have obscured vision, you can get a ticket for that too. It's no different than having tint on your windows. It's the same law, so please make sure that snow is removed, the ice is removed from your vehicles.
Thank you, sir. I do have one quick note. I notice, especially during your hot zone times on Main Street, that seems to be well in hand. I've received direct phone calls from people that live, at least in my neighborhood, for people that are using Minster as the beginning of a Grand Prix or some sort of race. They're really, like, after school seem to be the most prevalent. And they're not, like, it used to be 25, the expectation was 25. They were usually doing 30 or 40. These people are flooring it at, as soon as they turn on, they are literally, like, it would shock me if they were not 60, 70 miles an hour by the time, and they're going through that curve at a blistering speed. And that has happened. I mean, I've witnessed it myself, for at least, and I have models and makes and probably have some license plates if you're interested, but they do live in Rolling Oaks. So, is that a place that you have received any other complaints?
We received, so the Rolling Oaks neighborhood, the Downs are two primary neighborhoods we received most complaints about for after school. As far as the driving, we try to balance between the two. The problem is as soon as the first car sees us sitting in the Downs, they're texting all their buddies, hey, they're down here, so they're going around us and they're going the other way, vice versa. The biggest complaint we get in Rolling Oaks is the stop sign at Minster and Oakview there, where they say everybody rolls it. And the God honest truth is, if you blow it, we're stopping you.
Yeah.
If you creep up to it, but you're doing it, treated more like a yield, we're less likely to stop you. We're not saying it's okay, but we're focused on getting the ones that are just blowing it and causing the serious, concerns there. The speed, part of it is the design of the road. It's a super narrow road. It's a curvy road. Perspective automatically makes you think that they're going 30 when they're doing 20. It's just perception of that narrow, skinny, curved roadway. Yes, people do drive through your neighborhood, but we have to go back and try to find the records when we had our speed sign, but we used to put the speed sign up there before it got plowed, and we weren't seeing typical speeds were between 20 and 30. I think the average was 25. But yeah, it's definitely something we can put back on the radar. It's not off our radar, it's just we're trying to move around a lot more than other neighborhoods too, so.
And I think that's whack-a-mole too. I agree with you. It's like whack-a-mole because with texting and so on, I get it. I get it. It's just something that I've just seen happen and it's been happening progressively more in the last several months. But I mean, obviously people move in and.
Yeah, it's hard to find a spot to sit between Main and then Oakview, only because it's a narrow road, it's curved, and it's hard to get true speed with a radar on curve.
Yeah.
It underestimates it to begin with when they're stationary, and then by the time they actually get in that target window and you're trying to track them, they're usually out of the target window before they can get there. So straightaways are our easiest place to run traffic, like run speed traffic. Rapid acceleration, things like that. This time of year, it's a lot easier to get because the back end kicks out or whatever, but with the roads being cleared up, it's hard to get them for the rapid acceleration because it's not against the law to accelerate fast as long as you stay under control and stay under the speed.
Get it. Appreciate that. And again, I've just noticed the increase, and I imagine that it's a challenge, but something to consider. And it's been residents that have contacted me about it, so
we encourage residents if they have issues in their neighborhood, whether it's traffic or anything else, let us know. We have a map in our office that we tag things on when things come in to put it as a highlight of, hey, if I got a half hour here between complaints to go, sit and be a presence and run some traffic, I'm gonna go to this neighborhood today because I haven't hit that one in a week or two. So if your neighbors are having issues, feel feel free to have them contact our office.
I always encourage that.
And I don't know, was there ever a decision made to order a new speed trailer, anything like that?
Not yet. We'll have to talk about that.
All right,
Anybody else?
that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brandon?
I don't normally do a report or anything, but it was kind of fun to just look at the stats in there. So just a little rundown of things for you. If you're not geeked out by stats like I am, sorry, but I thought it was fun that there were 79 meeting packets last year. Like, explain 3 things. And then I guess the other noteworthy thing is, we are taking Heather to Clerks Institute in March with us, so, Kim and I will finish off that program and Heather will get started. And there could be tattoos again.
And I love stats. Thanks for those.
Thanks for your money.
JD, you're up again.
Liaisons?
It's got your name
You
on it.
got liaisons. Do you have any liaisons?
Oh, actually, yes, I do. I'm sorry. JD, I have a DDA liaison report. We had a lot going on in that meeting.
That's what I heard.
So it looks like we are moving forward with a streetscape contract for East Main. I think we did a do not exceed 70,000 for the design budget. They talked about some appreciation awards and so on, got approved. Holly Trolley, the Riverbank music series, looks like that's in full swing in terms of getting things planned and selecting the bands. Looks like the budget is fairly generous across the board in terms of attracting local talent. So, and I think I think we've added a couple of additional dates in the fall. Organizational committee, just basically focusing on short and long-term goals. And what I really enjoyed about that discussion was the DDA is, I think, really starting to focus on milestones and objectives, and they're really using their time wisely in terms of planning and not just for events, but literally for how they're going to be engaging the community, investments in the community. So to see a framework being built for that was pretty impressive, and it continues to get better. Anne did a great job on our first meeting. Looks like they're prepping to work in parallel with the village's master plan and really trying to play off of what goes on with the master plan, as well as what the DDA and how they're going to fit into that. I think they're going to be contributing some funds for planning and zoning, as well as contributing to the master plan fund. And then they are moving forward with the Economic Vitality Committee, which again, I think is really a really solid outreach to businesses and how we can support them and help them grow, give them the tools to grow. And we discussed tightening our process for building out a business and volunteer database. Looks like we have one, but needs some work. So I think we're moving forward with getting a little bit more purpose-driven plan to do outreach, capture information for the business owners and leaders in the village, and certainly have a little bit more of a structured means of outreach and communications, and again, just trying to build a volunteer database along with that. So it was a great meeting overall, and super hopeful with where we're gonna be heading in the future, so that's good. That was my liaison. That was my liaise.
Planning commission.
Let's do it.
Well, before we move on to that, I have one just quick statement is the last individual we had to manage community outreach really did not do a great job of reaching out to people who are in village limits but are outside the district and really isolated people. And it wasn't just Carveth, it was others that I had contact with that I partner with. So one thing I'd say to that is please don't forget those that pay village taxes, but we're also willing to participate in DDA events because, you know, we're still part of the village. So.
That was definitely, that point was brought up, and it isn't just to that point, it's
Yeah.
not just the village businesses that we're interested in, it's, or the DDA district village, businesses, but it's every business. So, you nailed it. It was exactly what the conversation, was pointed at, and I think we'll definitely be doing a better job from the DDA's perspective. I think that's certainly their initiative, so. And that was a similar complaint, by the way.
Right.
So, with others.
Yes.
So. Okay, Mr. Ball.
Planning commission was a week ago Tuesday. Pretty much as organizational. Jason drafted me into the ordinance committee. And we have a meeting on that next Monday. Looks like there might be some activity on that lot, just south of Three Brothers. And about all the information I got right now, it's concrete, is there some activity on that? So hopefully that has something come about.
I think you're gonna have something at the next planning commission meeting on that. That's what I've heard.
If it's what was rumored to be, then we really need one.
Yes.
Very exciting, yeah.
Yes.
The bakery?
McDonald's.
So what?
It's another pizza joint,
Oh, is it
right next
really?
door to the pizza joint.
Oh, is it
Or the gas station.
Car wash. Nail salon.
So that was about it for them. Last night was the township meeting. Other than they agreed to give us $2,200 towards the trail maintenance, we wanted that in. And then, as a resident of Middleville, they had their, I'll call it their service award type evening. There was a lot of cardiac saves and that type of thing. They had 5 or 6 individuals received certificates for that. They have 2 firefighters that just completed paramedic training. Quite frankly, that's something we don't hear about, and we should. You know, I think we're really missing our reporting in the Sun and News and some of that stuff being brought to the public, you know. I don't know how we get back to that point again, but.
Either.
Where the good news is shared just as the bad news.
Yes,
Yeah,
we clearly made the front page recently, so.
Yeah. yeah.
It'd be nice if we didn't make it that way. But my point to that is and I wouldn't have known it myself had I not went to that meeting. And I really hope there's some way of making the public more aware of that and the good work that they're doing. So other than that, it was pretty much cut and dry. But that was it for me. Commissions.
Wonderful. It's possible, I know that we get monthly reports from fire and EMS. Would be nice to maybe have the fire chief come in.
Yeah.
Even if it was just reserve time right at the beginning and
Sure.
and leave.
I can invite him, absolutely.
That might be nice.
Yeah.
And to share that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would be really
Yeah,
beneficial.
where does your money go for emergency services and stuff, and what's the benefit?
Mr. Baldry, any other liaise reports?
TPRC, due to lack of quorum, had to move their meeting to the 3rd, which I believe I forwarded y'all that, email from Catherine about 2 weeks ago or so.
I didn't get it from you, but I got it from Catherine.
Okay, so, so we'll have that, but I do believe if I recall my memory bank here, we approved and set in motion that rec plan, so we're all set for that.
Yep, I hit the sun button on that.
Yep, perfect. Yep, but the, TPRC voted to adopt what was already adopted by the entities, so that's all done and set for the next 5 years, so.
Yeah, as long as it gets approved, it's set in motion to be reviewed by the state and then
Yeah,
hopefully approved.
yeah, but we shouldn't run into any snags, hopefully.
Excellent. And your report spurred, there was a hike for Yankee Springs. They had a,
Oh, the
Winter-
North Country Trail.
yeah, the North
Yeah.
Country Trail,
Mhm.
which, so I went with, Catherine Getty invited me. I erroneously brought my wife, who I was just gonna go and maybe hike a quarter mile, turn around, come back.
Mhm.
So I went the entire route, 3-mile route, which was, I took a nap afterwards. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. But I will say, having that kind of a resource just down the road, 5-10 minutes, and knowing that, you know, finding ways to tie into that as well as other park resources in our area. I mean, the TAPRC is certainly instrumental in that. I think we're gonna press in and see a lot more from them. So
Perfect.
look forward to it.
Yeah, because that was one of the big ones, was especially community input, was linking up south end of the trail and north end of the trail to make a long Paul Henry Trail. So the idea, you know, the selling point was hiking from south end Hastings all the way to John Ball Zoo.
Right.
You know, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
So,
And they're making some progress up in Caledonia too.
Mhm.
So I think that's all promising.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sorry, brother. Had a false start there.
Fire penalty.
No.
Oh, the downtown sidewalk snow removal. We started doing it this year. We're getting it done. I feel that it could be done more efficiently and look better than how we're doing it. The equipment we have is too big. It's too wide. That toolcat we have is every bit of 6 feet. We wanted to go up to Church Street, but we can't do that for the sidewalk because that toolcat's too big. So I've got a couple of quotes here. This isn't a vote on this tonight. It's just discussion as to, for next season is kind of what we're looking at right now. There's a couple options I found. I am waiting on another quote from Bobcat too. Basically, these are just garden tractors is what it's gonna be. But it has a 48-inch snow blower. The smaller sidewalks are 46.5, we measured, so it will fit. What we're using right now is about 60 inches wide. So we're tearing up grass if we could even get down it. So we got a couple quotes here for this. The Kubota actually comes with a salter. The John Deere, we have to buy an aftermarket salter on top of the price that's with it. So as of right now, I lean towards the Kubota. But if we're gonna continue to downtown sidewalks, I recommend we look at getting a piece of equipment that works better for what we're trying to do. I noticed too, here on the sidewalks going to the trail, we're digging into the grass as well, trying to keep that clear. We can also use it at Calvin Hill for the sidewalks up there. And we do the sidewalks by the fence on East Main as well. And again, we're on the same issue, that machine's just too big to do what we want to do. So this is kind of an outlook for the future for next season as of right now.
I think what we do need from council though tonight is, discussion on whether you want us to continue with that. If so, you know, what kind of parameters you want, you know, where you want it to start and stop and end and all that. And then also, if you want to, pay for it out of general funds or local streets, or ask DDA to contribute toward that, snow removal. So those are kind of the things we would like to have from you tonight.
Mr. President.
Yeah, I'm sad that there is no map in here.
That's right, we talked about that. I apologize.
That makes me sad. I apologize for not bringing it up sooner.
Well, we talked about it Friday morning and then, yeah, that's a great idea. And then,
If I may just,
Yes.
the idea is to, go from, basically where, Farrell's Pizza is up to the church.
Yep.
Which would encompass all of the walkable businesses and whatnot that we have in the downtown area.
Yeah, once you get pretty much just the other side of church where the church is, that's where those sidewalks just narrow right down, and then in front of like township there, you can't really hit that. They kind of didn't take care of it, but it's one of those, where do we stop? We gotta stop equally on both sides, otherwise you're gonna get there. Why do they get it? We don't. We don't want to do that.
We already are getting that.
Yeah.
It's not because of what you're not doing,
Right.
it's because of what I'm not doing. Which is a whole other story.
But
Yeah, for sure.
Is that bridge not being done?
the bridge is getting done. Again, it's the same issue that Toolcat barely fits on that sidewalk to get it down. The last thing they wanted that Toolcat to fall off while they're trying to push snow as well. So they're doing,
The piece of machinery, is that too wide too? Not just the brush?
but yeah, the whole machinery is too wide.
Okay, so it's not like you can get a smaller brush on that machine?
No, that's why I want to go with the smaller unit, because then I can get a smaller snow blower, and I believe the brush is smaller as well. So the whole unit is smaller and will fit where we want it to go.
So my thoughts are, I mean, in previous conversations, I've never really been a proponent of just doing the sidewalks unless we have a set up business district, because I remember that meeting we sat with the lawyer, and the lawyer said your ordinance is clear. And so I just want to put that in the back of our minds if we're gonna do this again going forward for future seasons, that we may need to revise that ordinance to admit a business district responsibility, if that's what we're trying to do with the downtown area, and making sure walkable sidewalks are, that's just in my mind, because we sat with the lawyer on that, and he was very clear about that ordinance. So that's my first point. Second point is, we'd save money and repair costs, plow damage if we got this, essentially is what you're saying, because we're doing too much
Yeah.
damage, or we're not able to get the job done with the current equipment.
Right, yeah.
Whether we maintain the sidewalks or not, there's other areas of the village that would benefit from this equipment.
Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
I have a couple more questions. Would that piece of equipment benefit other places like tight parking areas, like by the old fire barn and that type of stuff, where there's 4 or 5 spots and that type of thing?
Yeah, it could be, anytime I get a piece of equipment, especially this, I try to make sure that it's gonna be multi-use, and these things have a ton of attachments that come with it as well.
I'm just trying to lean towards the justification.
Right, yeah, so, like I said, we would be able to use it in a lot more areas as well. Like I said, Calvin Hill Park, I noticed sidewalks there aren't getting touched. That's kind of our responsibility, so we could use it there. Areas here, down there by the fire barn, the brush, we could use that on the trails if we need to in fall and stuff like that, so. I do try to make stuff more than just one single use, because it is a lot of money just to blow snow.
Maybe,
Yeah,
blow snow.
exactly. This year it would have been great. Next year, who knows if we're gonna get a bunch of snow.
And as an old machinery guy, you buy the tool that works for you.
Right.
Not just think of this comes with a salter and then the other one have to do an accessory, you know.
Yeah.
Kubota has quite a reputation.
Yeah, the Kubota one comes completely ready, roll off the trailer, ready to remove snow and salt. The John Deere, then find the other salter, then we gotta get it installed. And it was just,
Could that unit be used for something else in the summer without the snow stuff?
So the John Deere comes with a bucket on it we could get for added cost, of course. I'm looking to see, I'm not 100% sure, I'm gonna see if I can get a blower attachment for these as well, because then we could use the blower on the trail, because then that will save bristles on the brush when they're removing leaves on the trail, so, yeah. So as many things as I get this thing to use for, we'll use it. I think they come with a mower attachment if we want to use it for mowing. I know we're not gonna do as much downtown, but at the DPW, we have a lot to mow out there still. So that's another option that we can look at too as well.
How much on average, just in the ballpark, are the additional attachments?
Depending on the attachments, they're running anywhere from $2 to $5 depending on what you wanna get, so.
Do you recommend us wait for the Kubota quote?
I recommend the Kubota because like I said, it was an all-inclusive, ready unit to go, so.
I guess, who determined this pathway at this point? Who determined this is all we're gonna do right now? Do we do this, so the council do that, just leave the road right now?
It's up to you. It's up to council.
I wouldn't mind waiting till the Kubota comes in, and if they're not in by the end of March, then we move forward with something.
Oh, for the other quote?
Yeah, if that's
Yeah,
your
the
preferred.
Bobcat quote.
Huh?
For the third quote.
You did get it, or?
No, I'm waiting on the Bobcat quote. I do have the Kubota quote
Oh,
here.
also you'd recommend the Kubota.
Yeah, that's the one I recommend. I was waiting on Bobcat to send me something, but they haven't sent me anything yet. I can reach out again if we want a third one. Like I said, it's not a rush. We don't need it for this season right now, I don't think. We're at the tail end and we're making it work. And most likely by the time we get this, snow is gonna be done anyway, so.
So if we were to move forward today, just for giggles, what fund would you recommend that come out of?
We could kind of pull it a little bit out of anywhere, really, if we want. I mean, local streets.
It'd be the, yeah, that one.
And
But we weren't really planning on, so we didn't really.
Yeah, we're planning on it right
Too
now.
much into it right this
Yeah,
second.
I think that before we, I don't want to derail the intent of this meeting is we have quotes.
Yeah.
Do we want to move forward? The reality is, and I can tell you the feedback that I've received from places like River Dog, Nook, the traffic that goes in and out of that absolutely appreciates when that sidewalk is clear to go in and out of those businesses. And I don't, but it's not necessarily just the buildings that, because most of those people have already shoveled, but it's the ones that aren't. And the thing is that as we look at other, and I'm not gonna bring up other communities for any other reason than there are a lot of communities that do plow sidewalks and that are about our size, and they do it because their commercial property owners are the highest paying tax rate, typically in terms of taxes, and often in a scenario like this, don't get a whole lot more for that. So it's an interesting perspective if you look at, we're trying to go into a program, the Main Street program, which is trying to entice people to come downtown. And we've spent a lot of money on beautification. We talk about the beautification of East Main Street and redesigning that. We're spending a lot of money to do exactly what we're trying to accomplish, which is to attract people. And when you attract people, and they do come, and then they have to trudge through 2 feet of snow on the sidewalks because somebody didn't shovel their drive or shovel their sidewalk, or maybe there's a building that's for sale or whatever, it creates continuity. And that was really, I think, what spurs this whole entire conversation. So to move forward, and I definitely respect Ms. Peters' perspective in the sense that we should have guardrails in terms of defining the district. I think that's really smart, and just agreeing to agree on that. But also this, as JD said, this is a piece of gear that's going to be used in a lot of other areas that as long as we get them, the right tool for the job. And
Tonight was more just a discussion that do we want to continue doing this for next year? And these are kind of the numbers that we're looking at as what we should get to be able to do the same service next year, so.
Well, even if we don't, and this council decides not to go with a downtown shovel, it's still being utilized in other parts of the village. And it would be a piece of village equipment, so even though the DDA is a good resource, I think this is more a DPW matter. And are we gonna give you a tool that's appropriate for various parts of the village that's needed for us to plow regardless? So, my mind would just be to move now, because in September, it's gonna be more money,
Very possibly.
so,
I think the question on the table now is, do you want us to continue clearing the snow on the sidewalks? And then where do you want us to start and stop with that? If you do want us to do that?
To not be redundant, I would say, yes, if we're gonna set up a business district and have the village be responsible for those sidewalks, so we're not violating our own ordinance, and then update our ordinance. But I agree with Kevin in the sense that, especially with the Arctic snowfall, it seems like we've had this season, would be appropriate for us to make sure it's safe and walkable, so people who don't mind going out in sub-zero degree weather can still get out there safely, so.
So you, JD, you think just have to be more careful with that 60-inch, what you're saying, just to continue till this comes in?
Yeah, so, well, we're not doing the skinnier sidewalks right now, they're not even touching that right now. So part of what we're planning on doing, we're not hitting right now, just because we can't get it done. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So if we want to do all the way up to the church there, then next year, with this equipment, we will be able to do that. So that's part of where do we want to go for sure. If we want to go to church or beyond or wherever, we will definitely need different equipment. So that's part of the discussion tonight is, do we want to go all the way to Church Street, and how far down do we want to go? Because right now we do the parking lot behind Farrell is kind of where we stop on both sides. So.
And that would make, I'm sorry if I'm hogging the conversation, but I think that would make sense, where Farrell's is, and then Church Street, because that's pretty much the business district.
Right,
And
that
then
was
we
kind
capture
of
the entryway of the,
the idea.
capture that crossway for the pavilion and James Circle and all that good, so.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Matt.
You want us to zoom in or
Yeah.
leave it where it's
I
at? or-
tried to zoom in, but if I zoom in, then it's like too big. Ooh, oh, that's too big.
Can you plow in there? No.
This year we probably could.
I think that's, can you drag it?
I tried to.
You have to,
Use your arrows?
Well,
I use the arrows.
yeah, you
I
got,
did, but
No, the arrows on the keyboard.
you have to zoom around there. That's what-
I gotta do what? Yeah, but how do I turn my zoom on?
Click the four-way.
Yeah,
This one?
no, you're going to the right.
This one?
Nope, one more.
This one?
There, there.
That one. Oh,
No, thanks a lot.
I think, Sandy, I think we all know where it is. We've-
Yeah,
It would have been nice to have the map, but,
there you go.
The little hand is the pan.
yeah.
I have a
Is it that
question
guy?
too.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the pan.
Oh,
Currently, the sidewalk's clear,
here we go.
You made us wait to go through all
Park
that
your
before
car.
you gave it.
and you go around to get on the sidewalk, you gotta go through snow about this deep.
Instructions.
And several business fronts. How do we improve on doing that?
So, with the smaller equipment, I'm gonna say we should be able to at least get in there now and move, because right now, they're taking a swipe down and salting, and then they're coming out on the other side. And so they're not really able to maneuver to get into these tighter spots.
Okay,
So that's part of the issue with that as well.
and we'd be able to flatten that out.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot more maneuverability with something that's about a foot shorter in width. And it's gonna be, I think it's about another foot shorter in length too. So it's nice, compact, a good turning radius, so they'll be able to maneuver it around and get a lot better than what we're doing now.
And this may seem like an obvious question, but I have to ask it because I'm not great at subtleties. You're doing the bridge, right? The bridge sidewalk
Yes.
there.
Yep,
And
so Church Street is the idea, but once you get just about to Church Street, that sidewalk narrows, and then across the street from there, that sidewalk narrows. So we're able to get most of this, but we are trying to do the bridge, and then we stop right about here.
Okay. Can I do the Baby Bliss in front of that? Would be technically.
Yeah,
part of the
right
district?
now, we're kind of doing that whole sidewalk just because there's nothing there, so they've been doing that whole thing too right now.
Mhm.
So,
I think we should look at doing this, just wondering about, I think the decision Craig's has as far as continue with what we're doing, 'cause if we stop,
yeah, and I can do some more
Just try to
research
use-
too, as to if there's anything better that I haven't found as well, that'll work better. So far, this is what I found. So I asked other communities what they use.
it's still prime time for those people and that kind of equipment.
Mhm.
So if we waited a month, we would get the quote, get the Bobcat quote.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, if a month would make a difference, I don't think. We're not gonna have it, like you said.
Yeah, by the time I get everything in and get it ordered, it's pretty much gonna be.
It'll be warm.
Yeah. This is what I'm hoping.
So, Mr. President, can you bring me back to the agenda? Rhonda?
To the packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the quote from Kubota, which, if you can zoom in, I don't know what that value was, I forget.
$37,006.38.
How much was it?
$37,006.38.
All right, we'll make a motion to approve the Kubota quote not to exceed $36,010. $36,010.
You mean 37?
37, okay. I still can't see it, I'm sorry. And for the village manager to approve all paperwork and agreements for that. And then to also direct Lorimer to make any budget amendments to.
We don't need to do
No,
all
we don't
that.
need to do that, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll end at signing all appropriate paperwork.
Could we, add one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
Can we approve the Kubota for the amount of money and move forward sidewalk snow removal as part of that?
Can I do that in a separate motion? Because I think
Yes.
this is a fiscal one, and then we'd have to do
Yeah, just
this one.
two separate motions.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to add to the motion. I'd like to make the motion contingent on the TDA kicking in some money too.
Well, now we got multiple motions.
Yeah,
Okay, then I'll make a motion after the motion.
Well,
I really feel
if he wants a new
DDA
motion, we gotta get rid of her motion,
Um,
right?
Well, hers is on the table right now.
Yes.
Is there a second for,
Yeah, that's true. We don't have a
approving,
motion.
just approving for the Kubota
right?
is
Right,
what we're doing.
Yeah.
we don't have. a
But we
second.
can make it contingent upon whether the DDA contributes
You
funds.
can, but not unless she rescinds the motion, you have Brandon
Right.
motion.
so I'll rescind my motion and submit a new motion to approve the Kubota quote to not exceed $37,010 and allow the village manager to sign all relevant paperwork and agreements, and then also make it contingent on DDA fiscal support at their next meeting, which I think is in
I don't know if you want to tie it to which meeting.
Yeah, just,
March meeting.
just continue.
I don't think you would want to do
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay,
Just contingent on them support.
Yeah.
On their
Support.
financial support.
but what if they don't? Do we still want to buy the equipment?
I think it's purpose driven.
Well, I
Okay.
think, yeah, you should have the.
You know, we have, all the residents have to keep their sidewalks clear.
Yeah.
We don't do anything for them.
Right.
And as somebody that cleans 400 feet of sidewalk every time it snows,
Yeah,
I can tell you, I don't appreciate having to do that, you know? So this is being bought for our downtown district, which the DDA wants to, so on. It doesn't affect any of our residents other than the the business here, it may result from that. So in my opinion, then the DDA should pay for part of this.
Was there a second on that?
I'll second.
So let me make sure I'm good. So the motion is to approve the quote from Kubota not to exceed $37,010 and authorize the village manager to sign all pertinent documentation contingent on DDA financial support. Correct.
Discussion, now, did you, with the Kubota quote, did you think you added other attachments you were talking about to be used for other things?
With this quote, I have not added any other attachments. This was just a base of what I knew we were gonna need to get going. So,
Can that be going to another meeting, or we get the machine and say, now we wanna add down the road, we add I don't know, a bucket, or something?
Sergeant Ware?
To give you a little confidence in Kubota, Kubota's loaders are construction, so like Bobcat attachments, they're all universal. John Deere is proprietary, it only works with John Deere, or you have to get an adapter. So anything, I have a BX, which is what this is quoted, I can go find any generic equipment attachment, it clicks right up. So some of the stuff they already have, like tool cap bucket, so that got the normal front click.
yeah,
Essentially, so aftermarket parts, like aftermarket attachments, they don't have to be Kubota specific, we'll still work on it, and you're gonna save money in the long run.
Yeah, and if you find you need it, you guys have a budget you can use without having to bring it to council.
Okay.
So,
That's my question.
Any further discussion? Questions, concerns?
With that, just, was there any direction of how much you want us to get from DDA or how much you want? Just some, so it's contingent upon approval, so if they say, well, contribute $1, then that passes?
I'd buy them a scoop shovel.
Okay. All right, I just want to be clear, that's all.
I think it ought to be something,
Yeah,
pick a number, 10%, 5%, whatever.
And like Kenzie's question, so let's say we go to them and they say, no, we don't wanna give you any money. That's gotta come back here again.
Yep.
And we say,
And
okay,
there's time.
That didn't work, and,
there's time, we don't need it right now anyway, so.
okay, all right.
This is just topically, it's organized and it has structure other than just talking about it. So we're actually doing something about it at this point, so, which is appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion with support to approve the Kubota quote for $37,010 and not to exceed $37,010. Village manager can sign off on every document that needs to be signed off on. And it is contingent on financial contribution from the DDA. Could I please have a roll call?
Certainly. Richard Hamilton. Steve Baldry.
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters.
I,
John Osterbaum.
Aye.
Robert Bishop.
nay.
Tracy Gillespie. Kevin Smith.
Aye. Motion carries.
And then if you could discuss and get some confirmation on continuation of the sidewalks.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would like to make the motion to approve the continued shoveling and snow removal of a proposed district from, I'm gonna say Farrows, and you guys know what I mean, Farrows to Church Street as described in an earlier conversation, with the need to update our ordinance to omit those sections of sidewalk from it.
It's still, oh, go ahead, sorry.
That's my ordinance to continue, or my motion to continue this for next season.
Support.
Motion with support. Any further discussion?
I just say, so the way the ordinance is written, it's still, we're still doing a basic sweep. It's still the homeowner, not the homeowners and the property owner's responsibility to clear the rest of that off. It's still the responsibility, whether, I don't think it, needs to have an ordinance rewritten
I
for,
mean, right in front of their door. we're
they
not
still have,
necessarily-
they're still responsible for doing all that
It'd be
stuff.
some- yeah.
And they're responsible on the weekends when we're not going through there too, so.
So you want to get the new equipment, that's still the same way.
Right.
So do you need to amend the motion?
I mean,
all I remember is Mark Nettle was very clear when he came to us last year about this. And saying, if you're going to do this, you need to revise this and make it clear, whether that, is specifically outlined in that. I just remember that very hard line that he made about it, so.
But what
That's-
you're trying to say is we don't want to
Mission
accept responsibility because
Right.
we may not be able to do it. So
Right.
we don't want to make it village responsibility. We want
Exactly.
to leave it homeowner responsibility
exactly.
Yes.
or property owner
Which-
responsibility.
Yes.
So we're only plowing business hours.
It's just, it's just, in the morning when they do it, how often are they doing it? Just maybe,
When there's a heavy snow load,
and that's about
when
it.
when it's all hands on deck plowing, they're hitting it, and then they'll come back in on like cleanup and make sure they're hitting it. But the biggest issue is, like I said, they're not getting right in front of your door.
Right.
Either. So, there could be a 6-inch strip there that they're not gonna hit, that could have ice and.
Even with the new equipment.
Right, even with the new equipment, it's not gonna be a completely, there's just not enough time to do that.
You said earlier though, the big piles. that
Right,
are street
well,
right now should
It's
not be
more,
that
what I
bad.
worry about is closer to the building, right in front of like entry doors, is,
So those big piles should go away with the smaller equipment.
So,
yes.
but we assume some level of responsibility for using our equipment, our people to plow, to shovel it. Regardless, so if someone slips, whether it's on the part we shovel or that could turn into an issue. That's my opinion,
We have that no matter what, even if, on Steve's, property in front of his house, he's shoveling it, but if somebody slips and falls, it's still village-owned sidewalk, so, technically the liability would still go on us anyway, so.
The liability,
It's
we
always gonna
are
be us.
always liable,
Yes,
I don't
matter
think that
what
has
we
anything to
say.
do with the ordinance.
which was the
correct?
whole point that Mark
No.
stated.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
There's no right side of the ordinance that doesn't make us liable. It doesn't, whether we do it or don't, it's equal. Mr. Bishop, you've been
I also
patient.
remember Mark stating concerns, and I'm uncomfortable with moving forward without at least going over with him what those concerns were, because I also have concerns, and just I would feel more comfortable having, again, run it past the lawyer, just because I do remember him saying there was concerns. I do not remember what they were, but to say, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do this thing before, I'm not comfortable saying, yeah, let's go ahead and do this thing before we've cleared it up. So that's my position. And you've said we've got time, so it's not like we're in a hurry to get this pushed through. So I'd rather hear from Mark again. That's my opinion.
And I think we have a more structured plan, as long as we can frame in the boundaries and the expectations. There's been good conversation tonight about how complete that looks, and the fact that it's still on the business owners to make sure that the sidewalk is clear. We've covered a lot of ground here. I do recall, and this is fresh in my mind because I went back and reviewed it. There is no liability other than complete liability either way. And so in terms of the liability portion, I can speak pretty firmly about if we clear it, we're liable. If we don't, we're liable. It's kind of one of those things that he mentioned it, but it kind of, it didn't set up any red alarms in whether or not we should or shouldn't do it, because other communities do it. So they're doing it for the right reasons. They're not avoiding it for the wrong ones, is really the point. But I am with Mr. Bishop on that, in terms of just having a framed, organized thought that we can give Mr. Nettleton so that he can review it and share his concerns. So I think that's very prudent.
So this,
Then what does that do with what we just approved?
We didn't approve anything.
No, they buying the Kubota.
Yep, a point of order was probably 15 minutes ago, but it's worth the conversation, and I think it's been fruitful. So I think we're good.
so I, amend it to just simply say for the snow removal plan to move forward with next season with the parameters discussed and to be run by the lawyer, whether we make an ordinance change.
I don't think we need a motion for that. I
don't?
mean, you
We
tell
can
me,
come
but I
back
would
to
say
to
we
another meeting.
pull this motion and just go into general consensus, couldn't we?
Yeah, we can just go general consensus to move it forward
Okay.
with
For
those
further
bumpers.
discussion and
Yes,
then pull this
further
motion.
discussion, yeah.
And
it
vote,
saves
and
the
you're
whole-
okay with pulling the motion, because you know.
I
you're
made the
okay, 'cause
motion,
you
I'll
seconded it.
I'll pull the
And
motion.
you're okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull the motion. I only did one because Kevin asked for one.
It seemed right,
Okay, so I'm going to do a general consensus to continue discussion.
but it's gotten looser since we've talked.
We don't need a 5-hour Lapeer meeting.
Right,
I watched it.
oh my gosh, it just touched your soul hurt.
I'm ready.
Thank God for all of you, I'm just saying that. All right, so we are in consensus of moving this topic forward, and then we can work out the details. I think the next time, I think we should have a map. I think we should definitely have a discussion point about the liability thing. I think that's a burning question, so we should probably talk about it. And then address any other concerns. I think Mr. Bishop's right. I think he had other
There was some.
There's other
input during that
things.
period, yeah.
Like enforcement of the ordinance and things like that, so.
So my minutes are gonna reflect that you're pulling that motion, and
Yes.
your general consensus is that you're just gonna continue discussion.
Yep, we're gonna
Correct.
table it for now.
No, you're not
But it-
tabling it, you're
Tabling it.
postponing it.
We're postponing.
Well, we're provided the staff direction to
We're
get,
Jeez, there's so many ways to speak English here. Let's just move it forward to, we agree to move it forward to another further discussion
Yep.
later on in the future.
Mhm.
Great,
I got
all right,
you.
I still have one thing.
okay, go ahead.
Why, not that, I'm fine with moving, pulling my support and all that kind of stuff. What does JD do? Does he go over the Kubota? Or does he have to wait?
we have
Well,
to
it's still
wait.
subject
It's
to
still
the
contingent on the
DDA.
DDA, yeah.
We
So we don't
approved
even
it.
know that
Okay.
for another couple of weeks, but we're moving, that's already been moved to.
It's approved.
It's approved. This is just to discuss the snow removal, the active snow removal in the downtown district.
Okay.
Which Ms. Peters discussed that there really isn't a definition of what that looks like. Mr. Bishop had some concerns about what Mr. Nettleton had stated during our discussion, whenever the last time we had a discussion. And I think
So you think you get that all done before you get an answer?
before next November when it snows, yes, for sure.
Well, he doesn't have to buy it, just because you gave him permission to buy it doesn't mean he has to.
Okay.
Still subject to the approval of DDA.
Yeah, there's still some things that are hanging on it. It's not as clean as I think it probably could be, but all valid concerns, and I think moving it down the line is just,
Well, the DDA can discuss whether they want to contribute to the wages of the snow removal at that time also.
I need to go back and revise that motion, I hope not.
I think we're not doing any motions,
we
we're
pulled
just
your
moving
motion.
it
No,
forward.
no, 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 no.
Alright,
We
I was
already
just-
pulled that
I was
motion.
just saying that can be added to the DDA discussion at that time.
I think we're just looking for general consensus. If we are nodding our heads yes in agreement, then I think
Yeah.
it's mission accomplished. I think we're gonna move on from here now.
alright,
Let's roll.
vámonos.
All right, generator maintenance. Let's move on to that, JD.
So I have given you 3 quotes from 3 different companies. to come in and do a yearly maintenance and 2-hour load bank test on all 8 of our generators. We have, let's see here, we have 4 lift station generators, 1 for each of our wells, so that's 3, and then we have 1 for our wastewater plant. What I would like this company to do, what they will do, they come in, they're gonna do oil changes, they're gonna do a complete overhaul, look over of these generators to make sure filters are good, hoses are good. It's a technician that actually specializes and works in these. The 2-hour load bank testing, they do it in different intervals to make sure that when power goes out, pump comes on, that generator is not gonna just stall out or not power the pump. So it's a controlled environment to make sure that it's sending out the proper energy needed for all pumps and everything to operate as it's supposed to.
You know what scared me when I read this? Is that it's never been done.
As far as I know, I can't see any records of this being done. I would like to do this annually. That's why I recommended Cummins A. That's what all of our motor or generators are, is Cummins brand. And they offered a 5-year plan that we could do. We don't have to do necessarily the 5-year price right away, but we can do 1 year at a
That's
time.
great.
But,
It seems more expensive to do a 5-year rate. Is there a reason for that?
so I looked at their quote and they did I think it was a 3% increase every year for their 5-year plan. So it's one of those, you don't necessarily have to do it. We can just kind of have them quoted out every year and see if it's right around the same price. That just commits us that we know somebody's coming in every year. We can do it either way, really. If we just want to have them come in once a year and choose another to do once a year, we may make out better, we may not. That's kind of the risk you run. I guess with the 5-year, you at least know what you're paying. So,
I prefer that, just because it never works out that it's simply just a 3% increase
Right,
every
it
year,
could be-
especially with the
they
labor.
come back and say, well, it's 4%. If you'd have done the 5-year, you got a 1% break. It's hard to say as far as
Does the whole
increases and all that stuff.
70,000 gotta be paid?
No, we can pay this year, and then you can pay next year's, and then you can pay the year after that.
So we can budget it appropriately.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to approve the Cummins quote and go with to not exceed $69,728.39 and allow for the village manager to sign all pertinent paperwork and to go with the 5-year plan.
Or
Paid annually, right?
Paid annually.
Thank you. We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? Yeah.
This is a new company we haven't dealt with.
we've had them come in, we've had like emergency breaks and stuff that we've needed to, they've come in.
They responded quickly and
Yeah,
efficiently,
yes.
because I'm a little skeptical of signing up for 5 years and we don't have history with them. Versus a 1 year.
Yeah, from what I understand, before I got here, this was who they used when they needed somebody to come in and actually look at them. But as far as like an actual, somebody comes in and does an overhaul every single year, I don't think that's been done. So, because our crew, the staff, they go and they do checks, make sure it'll run, make sure that it checks the oil, make sure it transfers over. But as far as like an actual diesel technicians, these guys are not diesel technicians. So it's good to just have a good look at it from somebody that knows what they're looking for. And enter oil changes every year, fuel filters, and then they go through the entire thing, so.
I think the big caveat here isn't necessarily, I mean, obviously, knowing who's working on it is important for sure. What I'm mostly concerned about is what are they gonna find and how much more is this gonna cost us when they find out that we haven't done maintenance
I'll
on
let
it.
you know in a couple months.
So I guess brace yourself.
And that's what will happen too, is they're gonna come in and they're gonna do the checklist that they gave, but then they will also say, well, you need to do this, you need to do this, we found this. And then we can kind of go from there as to how to proceed.
How old are most of the generators?
A lot of them are, they probably got put in when their lift station got put in, so there's some that are probably from the late nineties. There's some that are probably from the early 2000s, so I think our newest generator is the wastewater plant. Well 6 would be one of the newer ones, and well 5 would be one of the newer ones. Other than that, everything is pushing 25 plus years old probably.
Still better find that out now than the power goes out. And they do that.
So,
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right. Ronnie, could we have a roll call, please?
John Osterben,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton, Steve Baldry,
Aye.
Robert Bishop,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie, Mackenzie Peters.
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Shade.
Be nice when you start working down
It's here. It's here. The unit is back.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
nice.
scheduled to come in next week.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a couple empty seats as you see. We received a resignation letter from Ms. Gillespie and then Mr. Hamilton shortly thereafter. So in order to move forward, council needs to first accept their resignations and then the 45-day clock begins to appoint new members. That 45-day clock ends March 27th. And I'm gonna be in Hawaii, March 18th through the 29th. So really, in order to really make this happen, we're probably gonna be on more of a 30-day clock in order to do interviews and things like that. So, as soon as you accept them, then we'll get those in the paper this week and get them on the social media spots and all that. And hopefully we'll get some good applicants and we'll bring them to you and do all the things we need to do. So,
Would you like a motion per?
yes, please.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of trustee Tracy Gillespie.
Support.
We have a motion with support to accept Tracy Gillespie's resignation from the village council effective immediately and declare the office of village trustee vacant to be filled by appointment of the village council. We can just do a voice vote on that. A motion was second. Any further discussion about this? All right. All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Sorry.
the microphones aren't on.
Still on the YouTube.
Still on YouTube.
Still on YouTube.
A little less loud. Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to accept the resignation of trustee Richard Hamilton effective immediately. Or the 28th, whenever.
No, it's
Today, okay. Yeah.
Support.
We have a motion with support to accept Richard Hamilton's resignation from village council effective immediately and declare the office of village trustee vacant to be filled by appointment of the village council. Motion. Any further discussion on this?
Is that a question? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but
It's part of the responsibility of the council.
we have no choice but to accept it, right? What if
Right.
we say no? I mean, no, we don't.
Just have to accept it.
Okay.
He's already resigned.
It's what makes it official though.
It makes it
It's what makes
official.
it
I mean, technically,
Can't tie him down.
technically, John, you could say we don't accept it, and then you got a seat, by somebody that, somebody's holding up a seat that, but nobody can,
Can't be filled.
can't
Okay.
fill at that point. So.
Okay, just wondering.
And they're not helping you out by, being able to conduct business or anything like that either. So technically, I guess you could, but it'd be kind of weird. But it is what it is.
And we'll do a voice vote on this.
I know,
We have a motion with second. no further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll, get that advertised as soon as
Do
possible.
you want to do 1 week or 2 weeks, and when do you want applications due by?
I would say, yeah, it's up to you, but I would say probably do 2 weeks would be my recommendation, and then.
If we have applicants by then?
That's what, last time we did 2 weeks, and we had the applications due the Friday following the second week.
That sounds like a good
If
plan.
we follow that, we could appoint on March 10,
I think-
depending on interviews.
I mean, I think that's prudent, depending on whether we get applicants and if we get applicants that are
Quality.
all the applicants.
Yep.
Very well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think moving into, the committee appointments. We have a police contract, library, housing commission,
And the county recycling, I'm not sure if I put that on your list, I'm sorry.
yeah, and materials management planning.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm planning on going to that next meeting, next week, so I'll advise them, that, they probably already know of the vacancy. But that technically has to be, an elected anywhere in the county, doesn't have to be an elected for Millville necessarily, so I'll, let them know that. Well, it could be anywhere, township, it could be down Assyria, it could be anywhere in the county, so.
Or at least just give them the 411,
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
don't have that
Yep.
person on our
Yep, yep.
board any longer, so maybe they'll figure out another way to fill it, possibly, hopefully.
Mr. President,
Yes.
in the meantime, at least for the duration of my term, I don't mind picking back up the police contract committee, which only meets once or twice a year if needed. And then the library committee due to my history with that other committee. If you would like me to be on those.
I have a question. I thought I was on the police one.
We have 3 people on it.
Yeah.
We have 3 people on it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
If you're
I mean,
open.
I'm wide open to that, for sure. That does leave, housing commission.
When do they meet?
Third Tuesday,
Third.
right?
Yeah. What,
Third Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Lincoln Meadows.
wouldn't that be the same time as one of our meetings?
No, it'd be in between.
Okay.
Second.
It would be, it would,
It'd be the Tuesday in
conflict with
between.
the December meeting, yes.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that one because I have Tuesdays off of work, so.
Okay, I appreciate that, that's great. All right, we have library, police, housing commission, and as far as materials management planning committee, just let them know that we don't have anyone
Mhm.
at this point.
I can do that.
Okay. Rhonda, did you get that?
I just need a motion.
Do we need motions for
Well,
presidential appointments?
We did motions to do them in January. So I guess, I don't know if we have to. I suppose you could do a general consensus. It's just when you set them in January, you did do a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve all of Kevin's appointments to the respective listed committees.
Support.
A motion with support. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Thank you, by the way, that was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. So I appreciate that, thank you. In your packet, you have boards and commissions, informal items, minutes from the housing commission meeting, opening the floor up for public comment.
I did have one, I guess I have to say that. If JD has to come up 7 times, I think.
Same rules apply.
All right, one other thing that I didn't mention earlier, because I probably ran out of my 3 minutes. was that currently housed in our library is an archive of history of Millville. It's a pile, it's literally very difficult to peruse. But we have a woman who is at Carveth who's interested in taking on reorganizing that. But the thing is that there's not really a place for it to be housed in our library either. Right now it's in our used book room. Again, just like shoved back. So the Friends of the Library are gonna release funds in order to like more properly archive the archive so that they are perusable. And I just wanted to open it to maybe this council or maybe the DDA would be better to address about having those things stored somewhere publicly accessible. Maybe in this building or the little depot building or something, so.
Mr. President, I know it's not typical to ask questions in public comment, but may I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Are these documents that could be like framed, or are these books?
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
Mostly documents,
Okay.
less full volumes of anything. It's specifically donated from a couple of different people. It's a lot of personal clippings of newspaper bits. There's been some that's been digitized. So there's like a digital archive of newspapers mostly. But it's a big mess. But it's a really interesting big mess that some people might like to look at, so. So that.
Thank you. I've actually looked through that archive.
It's cool,
Just
right?
yeah.
Are you the one that messed it up?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was pretty messy when I looked through it.
It's pretty bad.
We have had people try to drop stuff off here too, and we have a little bit of space. We might have some random stuff you might want in that pile
Yeah.
that are not official village records,
Mhm.
but we just don't have place to store stuff here, for
Right.
sure. And so
Yeah.
usually we tell people sorry, but
Right,
before we start telling them sorry, we do have some stuff.
cool, yeah.
It'd be cool to do a mirage wall of history of the village.
Okay, final council comments.
All I'm gonna say is that I hope from recent events that folks do take it upon themselves to thoroughly dive and read into packets that we issue every other week and watch the videos if they're unable to make it, since they are on YouTube. You can watch them anytime. And also invest in your education of who you're voting for. And that's all I'm going to say.
I'd like to thank both trustees Gillespie and Hamilton for what service they've provided to the village in their time here. I would I firmly believe in innocent until proven guilty, and so I would hope that people would give me the grace to not judge me on my worst day. And but I hope everything works out for everyone.
I know I do this all the time, I think, but I mean it. I want to thank the DPW and the police department for the mess of stuff you guys have had to deal with. You've done a great job, you know. And I'd like to toss in our emergency services on that too, based on what I seen last night at the township meeting. And I really hope everybody gets a chance to watch that meeting video. And there was a lot of people that really deserved to be up front, you know, and recognized for the education they invest in and the personal work that they, the same big snow trying to drag a stretcher through it to get it into somebody's, very physical demanding too. So, and I would like to thank Mr. Hamilton for his years. Hopefully we give him some kind of recognition. That's it.
I'm going to echo Mr. Bishop and Mr. Baldry's statements about our previous members of the board, it's always difficult to find people to serve the community, and the door swings wide open for everybody. And thankfully, you know, we had people that committed time and effort and energy to our cause as a community. So for sure, their services deeply appreciated. And I think, in general, we've been very fortunate. Again, I always bring this up, but we've been very fortunate to have a committed board who is the best interest of our residents in mind when we sit up here, and I really appreciate that. Whether we agree on things or don't, it always makes for great conversation, and if we didn't have that kind of discourse, then I would be really concerned. So always appreciate questions and diving deeper into topics. I think that's what makes us better, and I look forward to more of that in the future with our 2 new members once we get them. And with that, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
We have a motion with support. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Well, on that note, see you all later.
Oh, no.
Go watch the reruns of the curling.